Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
All right, everybody, we are out here on this hot Arizona day where I am just absolutely sweating every ounce of water out of me today to talk about Geissele, right? G-Money. Now, probably all of you have heard of Geissele, and if you haven't, you probably really need to know who Geissele is. But today specifically, we are going to talk about why I think the Geissele, either Super Duty or the URGI, is probably the best out-of-the-box rifle for patrol and hard use out there in the world right now. And one of the reasons is because there are just no need for upgrades when it comes to the Geissele. Choose your light, choose your optic, get out there and go to work, or if you want to, you can put everything in the world like I have on the URGI. But it's really just a one and done package right out of the box. And there's a couple ways you can go about this to save a little bit of coin, which we'll talk about in a minute. I think all of us out there know that there is probably going to be a distinct difference in the quality and durability of a rifle that, say, is sub $1,000 and one that costs maybe a couple hundred shy of that. It's going to be everything from the initial materials for the bolt, the barrels, but also the quality of those small parts and the options that rifle comes with out of the box, like the trigger, the bolt release, the furniture, all that stuff that can make a nicer difference to have a better overall quality and feeling rifle.
Holy shit!
Again, they just seem to be better equipped right out of the box all around for whatever you need or whatever your agency needs. And one thing your agency definitely needs is to look out for the health and welfare of those good men and women out there on the street. And they can do that by getting you a battle bottle to keep you hydrated and to keep you healthy. We got the big ones, we got the small ones, we got the fitness gear, we got the swag. Make sure you get over to ironinfidel.com and definitely check out those dagger and knot blades so you can use those things on your belt, out there on patrol, and make the world a happy place. We're gonna break this down into some categories here. First up is the quality of materials and parts. We're gonna also have the included what would be considered upgrades, and of course, accuracy. That is huge when it comes to duty and law enforcement style rifles. Next up, we will have cost and how to save a little bit of coin. And this is gonna be a big one for my newer officers that are just getting started, that maybe don't have the budget, or maybe my older officers as well that have 3 ex-wives and each one of them got a piece of that pension. And make sure you let us know in the comments down below the one at your agency that has the most X's, specifically if they're dispatchers or other officers. Damn! And last up is going to be that trust factor, that brand recognition, and the fact that there may be thousands or more of these out there. Who is using them? What are they being used for? And that level of trust really can't be replaced. Okay, so the quality of materials, right? That is a huge one. Now, Geissele sources all US made and the highest quality metals and materials that they can, because not all steel and not all aluminum is made the same. In fact, scientists can break that stuff down. And when it comes to metals, whether it's steel or aluminum, scientists can actually test those materials for specific amounts of certain materials in them and actually tell you what part of the world they originated from and which one may be stronger than another, at least to a small extent. Let's start off with the heart of the rifle, the bolt and carrier group. So in these Geissele setups, you're gonna have a 5.56 full mass bolt and carrier system in there. It's gonna be 8620 on the carrier, which is nano coated with an extended upper rail for enhanced reliability. The bolt itself is Carpenter 158 with an H13 cam pin. It's chrome lined, nano coated on that gas key, and it is properly staked. And everything in there is high pressure tested and magnetic particle inspected. Next up is the barrel. These are going to be cold hammer forged chromoly vanadium steel, chrome lined for that ultimate durability under use. It's going to have their bomb-proof pinned gas block, which is going to last through just about anything. A variety of muzzle devices are out there, but a lot of them are going to come with Huxworks, and if you get the URGI, it will come with a Surefire 4-prong. These things are going to be ported at 0.075, which is what you want. That is the gas porting to give you the best overall gas system in there. It also means you might not be able to get away with that dirt cheap reloaded ammunition. You've got to use quality ammunition if you want to get quality results. Other companies will overport their barrels so they'll run on anything, but then you get an overgas system. As you can see on both of these with those flow cans, the SOCOM RC3 and that Huxworks, the ejection pattern is very light on these, running the Super 42 and an H1 buffer. The upper, the lower, and the rail are all going to be made of high quality forged aluminum. It's going to be 7075 T6 on the upper and lower, which are going to be type 3 hard anodized. The rail is 7000 series aluminum as well. And the current gens have steel QD sockets in them, which is important because you don't want to strip out the rail with a steel QD insert into aluminum. You want that steel to make sure it's going to last a very long time.
5, I can't count.
Let's talk about some things that would be considered upgrades that come factory from Geissele in a Super Duty model. Out back, you will have the Geissele Super 42 spring and buffer system. That is a coiled up spring, so it's going to last a little bit longer and give you a very nice recoil impulse. You'll have an ambi charging handle, an included Geissele trigger, which is generally an upgrade for most rifle, a QD end plate, ambidextrous safety, extended trigger guard, maritime bolt release, and Geissele pins for the takedown and pivot pin, which are much nicer than basic mil-spec. Now, talking about accuracy, a lot of this depends on the end user, but these Geisele's, whether it's the URGI or the Super Duty, have proven to be just absolute hammers out there on the range. I have taken my 14.5 URGI to 1,000 yards with a magnified optic on it repeatedly with ease, and so have many other people. If you check out some other channels out there like 9-Hole Reviews or somebody, these things are consistently right at 1 MOA for a 14.5 battle rifle. A chrome-lined CMV barrel getting that kind of accuracy is definitely impressive. That being said, you will definitely need to use quality ammo to get those results. 75 grain, 77 grain, SMK projectiles. I love the Badlands munition stuff. And since I don't have my Geissele right now rigged up for distance, I can't show that, but that video is already out there so you can see it if you want. However, it is possible and actually fairly easy to do with the right ammunition and the right amount of skill when it comes to the URGI or the Super Duty. Let's talk about the cost factor here, right? Because these things, depending on what time of year, range about $17.99 to $18.99. And I know some of you patrol guys out there might have a stroke when you hear that number. But let's think about the level of quality and the included upgrades you're getting with this, from the barrel, the Geissele trigger, the QD end plate, better furniture, better materials inside there overall, the coatings on the bolt, the carrier. All these things are going to ensure you get the longest lasting and most consistent accuracy out of the rifle right out of the box. Again, there's no need to go out and buy an extended bolt release, a better trigger. It's all just included with the Super Duty models. And it's all built and put together by Geissele with extreme quality control. And if you can't afford the full Super Duty, there is a way to save a little bit of coin. You can basically get a URGI or a Super Duty upper receiver, complete bolt carrier, charging handle, and everything. And then you can buy a more budget-friendly lower receiver and kind of pick and choose the level of parts you want on that. That's going to give you all of the performance and accuracy out of the upper receiver, because that's where all the performance and accuracy is built, as long as that lower receiver is in spec. And you could save up to a few $100s doing it that way, because there is nothing wrong with a Franken gun. And how about the trust factor, right? That untangible, the thing that you know a lot of people that have had them, run them, they've always been great. Think about where the URGI and the Super Duty are currently in use. Right now, all of SOCOM Special Operations Command has been issued or is using a version of the URGI. Also, they have Border Patrol contracts, they have law enforcement contracts, other federal contracts, and just thousands of good citizens out there in the world using the Super Duty or the URGI. And I can't personally think of a single story where a Super Duty or a URGI went down due to a mechanical failure or a parts failure if it wasn't something like the gas rings that were at the end of their lifespan and just needed to be replaced. Now, I know that isn't untangible, but if you think about how many of these things are out there in the real world, from special operations to law enforcement agencies to people, if there were problems going on, you would probably definitely hear about them in the forums or something like that. Now, I am sure that somebody out there has had a problem with the Geissele rifle or part before, because nothing mechanically made by a mechanical device is ever going to be 100% perfect. But again, I have yet to actually hear or see of one going down or breaking prematurely, unless it was the end of a wearable part's lifetime. There is technically one last category, and it's the unspoken one that nobody wants to admit to, and that's the cool guy factor, right? Because the URGI and the Super Duty are just cool. They look cool, and as long as you as the end user can run that thing, you're gonna look cool. And even if you can't run that thing, at least your rifle's gonna look cool, right? Now, there are plenty of other brands out there, and you can bet your ass we're gonna test more of them on the channel here and give our opinion on them. And I know somebody's already in the comments talking about all the big names: LWRCI, LMT, HK, Knights Armament, BCM, all that stuff. And I have all of them, and we are definitely gonna bring those on the channel and do comparisons in future videos, just like we are doing with the pistol series right now on best duty pistols or most ergonomic pistols, whatever you want to think about. So look for that in future upcoming videos. Now, I'm sure some of you out there think that you have a better duty rifle than the Geissele, and you very well may. So let us all know in the comments down below what brand it is, if you built it yourself, what parts are on it, because I'm sure everybody could benefit from that information. Get over to ironinfidel.com, check out those battle bottles, the dagger and knot blades, of course, the fitness gear, all the swag, and we'll see you guys in the next one.